Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week. It's not been so positive this week, sadly. Lyon, obviously, the Thursday we'll start off with that defeat in the first Europa League game. We'll then move on to the Motherwell game. Again, poor performance, poor result for the day. And then the question lies after the two games, why haven't we hit the heights that we set last season? And then we'll talk about the Dundee game and the Livingston game coming up. So that's on the agenda for the day. If you do enjoy it, as always, if you could like, subscribe, share around for us, it'd be very much appreciated. So, Lewis, if we go firstly onto the Lyon game, and it was Thursday night. I was looking forward to it. Probably the most glamour tie we've got in the Europa League groups this year. Obviously, Lyon a great side. They've got multi-million-pound players across their side. They've got one of the ex-best centre-halves in the world, Jerome Boateng, a Euros winner at left-back, stacked squad. I think a lot of people underestimated the challenge that Lyon would give us. Obviously, we've had a good record in Europe, usually under Gerrard, that we can maybe go and we could beat a team like Lyon, but it was more sort of like a Bayer Leverkusen type task where we just couldn't really get near them. But what was your thoughts on the game as a whole?
Well, probably a game of two halves for me personally. As you're saying, I think a lot of people underestimated Lyon going into this game. Top side, top football inside for me personally. Got a lot of good players in there. First half for me personally, I thought it was a positive half compared to the opposition we were up against. For me personally, it was a positive first half. Yes, I understand Ibrox, European nights, go at the teams. Let's try and get many goals as we can. But at the same time, you've got to be cautious with a team like Lyon. That's top quality there. That boy that scored the goal for me, he's a player I think in the next couple of seasons you could probably see in the Premiership. And that Brazilian lad they had as well, that Fisi Milan.
No,
I know they signed him. He looks like a top player as well. But first half wise for me, mate, I thought it was positive. At least it was something to go in at half time and be like, all right, testing ourselves against a top European side here. But in second half, as we know, I don't know what's going on there.
Aye, and again, the question that we raised last week, my argument was the first half. It just seems to now be going into this week that we only play well for one half of a game, and then either the first or second half's non-existent. Like the first half, looking back at the highlights and analysing the game after I was there, because obviously your emotions are very raw when you're at the game. Coming out of the game, you're like, oh, we were absolutely shite there, like, oh, whatever, saying stupid stuff. But looking back at the game, the first half we were good, I thought, against Lyon. Looking again, they just narrowly get beat off PSG 2-1 last night. So that's the kind of opposition you're dealing with here. And I felt like Lundstrom created a good chance. That was really unlucky, actually. Just dragged by the post. Lundstrom could have had a penalty as well. Try to think of any other chances. Ryan Kent's was really unlucky. A great save for Lopez. But it was just that one moment, just lack of concentration. Ryan Kent, he gets his pocket picked, and then Lundstrom, you could maybe say, right, you could get near him, avoid him, not narrow the angle for the shot, but it's an absolutely spectacular finish, unbelievable goal. I thought, the words came out of my mouth as soon as it went in the stadium. I'm like, wow, what a goal that is. And then you look back on it, it's poor for Ryan Kent to let the ball go. But I felt going into the half time, sort of not offering much. Gusto had a chance as well where he got down the right, and he had a shot that just went by the post, so we got away with that one there. But we limited Lyon to quite little in the first half. I was quite happy going in. I was like, right, second half, hopefully for once we can come out and we can actually try and build on what we just did there, but it just went totally backwards. Started the second half poorly, and then you could see the Lyon goal was coming, and Ryan Kent, I don't know what he's trying to do on the edge of the box. Just you can't do that against this level of opposition because they will hurt you, like what happened. Awar takes the shot, it just sort of deflects under McGregor, back out to Slimani, and it's unfortunate that it goes in. But as I said, they'll take their chances, and it's 2-0. And for me, the game was done. I just couldn't see any way we could get back a team like that class anyway. And we didn't really, after that, have any lack of urgency. That was my problem with the second half. Like, there was the keeper wasn't urgent and he's getting the ball out. Tavernier was just sort of dilly-dallying the ball. We weren't trying to make anything happen. I understand that it's a great opposition we're playing, but I was just hoping like we'd actually go for it, like because it's 11 against 11, anything can happen. We've seen it against Braga, like we were 2-0 down, like it could have went happened, but we didn't have the urgency or the quality, to be honest, on Thursday to take it in for Lyon.
No, we didn't indeed, mate. I thought as we're saying here, I mean, I've got to say it, mate. I'm sorry, but I think Tav needs to be dropped, man. As I said, that the performance on Thursday for me, and then also we'll touch on the Motherwell game, needs to be dropped. Patterson needs to be brought in for me. He's too negative for my liking, to be honest with you. Just want to just pass the ball along and shirk responsibility for me. But listen, I thought Lundstram had a decent game on Thursday, and I thought it was unlucky he didn't start against Motherwell. But I know we're all also going to be hurting after that kind of game, especially when we know what we can do, as you said, against the big teams when they came to Ibrox or away from home. But I don't know, maybe that magic man was missing. And Giannis, it can be just those moments. But and just the same way, I know people having a go at Alfredo for Thursday as well, and that wasn't getting the service. And he was playing beautiful balls for me. He was crossing it over to Tab for the left, to the right. He was doing.
I thought
doing
Morelos was good,
But honestly, I thought Lundstram was unfairly dropped as we get into the Motherwell game. But in terms of Europe, mate, I'm still positive. I'm still feeling like we can still go through. You know what I mean? I think we've got two games there where we should look to hopefully get the wins. As we're saying with Lyon, they're a top team. Maybe I was a bit disrespectful to the manager before calling him a bit of a bum there, but I know his team play beautiful football anyway. But no, it was decent, mate, for Lyon anyway. They've got themselves in a positive position so far anyway.
Aye, and again, we can't take much for the Lyon game in terms of how the group will play out. Like our real questions will be after if we can't beat Brøndby or Sparta Prague or something like that. Like that's when the questions will be raised for me. But seeing what I seen yesterday at Ibrox against Motherwell, will we even beat them at the moment? Like it's a tough time to be quite honest with you. But that's when the questions will be raised for me anyway. Going into that Motherwell game, then as you said, Lundstram, I was shocked actually when I didn't see him in the team sheet. I know he divided a lot of fan opinion again because he's just the easy one to sort of single out in a performance where you get beat. But I thought he was really good against Lyon. I thought that's more the kind of Lundstram like you want to see. Like he was demanding the ball for Al McGregor when he was trying to play. That was maybe the only guy I seen in the second half. It was demanding the ball. He was trying to move the ball on to get something to happen. And I thought he played well. Unlucky, I said, to no have a goal. But Davis comes back in. Obviously, Davis had a really poor game against Lyon. Didn't see him actually starting against Motherwell. I thought it would have been Lundstram, but Simpson came in as well. We'll talk about Simpson as well as we go on here. Sakala obviously came in as well at the starting lineup. Scott Wright, Kemar Roof. So it was a good front three. And what did you make of that game for what you seen yet?
Oh, son, I'm about going on a rant here. I need to go on one of these rants because this game has been frustrating me since the final whistle. I'm sorry, but I feel like it is it's time to be said. We need a goalkeeper in. I'm sorry, but I don't know what's happened to Al McGregor. The man wasn't shouting. He wasn't aggressive to his defenders, telling them to do their job right. It just seemed like he was, I don't even know. It didn't seem like Al McGregor. It seemed like a lost soul playing in goals for me personally. I mean, I don't think... Tavernier as well. That's, as I said, he has to be dropped. I think it was unfair on Lundstram not to get a start for me personally. You don't just drop somebody after.
Sorry to butt you off here, but the thing I said to my dad when I came out of the stadium, I was like, right, Lundstram has had a really tough start to his Rangers career.
Absolutely.
He's had a good performance at home to Lyon. Reward him with another start because he's only going to get confidence if he keeps playing games. You're only going to bed these new players in if they keep on playing, but he just gets bombed out for Davis. Personally, I didn't agree with that, and I just don't understand why we sign players if we're not going to give them a consistent run of games when they have clearly impressed in the game before.
That's not exactly what I was about to say, mate. It just feels like if we have a bad game where Lundstram's in it, he's automatically the scapegoat. Like, oh, Lundstram is in me. It's going to take players time. It's taking Jack Simpson time when he's getting the game time. He had two mistakes in that game, in the Motherwell game for me. The defending for the goal and obviously the potential with the Tony Watt chance as well. I didn't think beyond that he didn't really do much wrong. But as we're saying, it's going to take time. We can't just keep relying on Stephen Davis in the middle of the park. We have to give somebody like Lundstram a chance. They're going to make mistakes, but at the same time, they're going to be so much more better for getting the minutes and getting the experience, playing in front of that demanding crowd every game, you know. So for me, it's a bit unfair on some people. For myself, I was happy to see Fashion finally start a game. Definitely a winger. No chances of forward. He's definitely a winger. The pace he's got is fantastic. Scott Wright as well. That's another one that I was about to say as well. Who he's creating stuff. He's making chances and things like that. It's just going to take time. Be patient with him. I feel like eventually that end product, the finishing, I think him and Ryan kind of similar with that, but they both need to maybe improve on their finishing. Just that final bit. I know Gerald was going about that in the press conference, that kept on going on about the Kemar Roof chance, and if Roof had scored that, so I could tell he was irritated with that. But overall, the performance for me in the first half, it was
I think the
Ever
first half
since you've said
performance was
that,
the
by the way,
best. You know.
ever since you've said that, so listen,
And then it's
no,
just been the flip side. The second half, there's no played well in since we talked about that
no.
last week. But I thought the first half was probably the best football we've played this season so far. Like, there was just a zip about our play. It was positive. We were creating chances. It looked like we could have been about 2-3 up. You were happy going in at 1-0 at half time, but you were right. Second half, we played really well here. Surely we came out and we put Motherwell to bed. And I was happy with Sakala getting his goal. I was really wanting him to get off the mark, because there's been a lot of grumbles about him coming off the bench and not being good enough. But it's, again, just take time with players like that. And he came on, started, took his goal well, could have had a second as well. So just a pure burst of energy that we needed. But we're going at half time, we came out. But we're all right for the first 10, 15 minutes of that half. Like, Sakala had another chance where he just plays it over the bar. There was one Davis he's one-on-one with the defender, and he just screws up the pass to Kamara. That should have been 2-0. And we had a few sort of half chances. Tavernier had that one for the short corner. He nearly crossed it in, nearly went into the top corner. But for all the rude missed chances, we get punished. And it just felt I was watching Rangers for a few years ago, because that was always what would happen. Like, the defending for that goal was absolutely shocking. Like, it was a throw-in, or it's out at Tav's side anyway. Goldson's nearer the right back position than he is his own position, which means Simpson leaves a massive gap for the player just to stroll through. I actually thought like it was offside or something. I was like, why is nobody stopping him to here? Like, and he just shot through and went on goal. I'm like, what is happening? Simpson, too weak in the challenge. Like, he's just half him. Like, take the free kick. Didn't commit himself enough to the challenge. Goldson, again, don't know what he's doing, trying to get him off the ball, and it ends up in the net for Kane Woolery, I think it was. So we get punished for all the good stuff we did, but not putting the ball in the back of the net is the main thing you need to do, and we didn't do it. And from then again, we just, heads went down. I can't believe the heads went down at home to Motherwell when you've got it all set up for you. Like, you've got 35 minutes, I think, after that goal to go and get a goal. Just never happened. Never created anything really. There was one maybe in the last couple of minutes, Aribo, and Morelos getting the bay, and it went by. But overall, it feels more like a defeat. This one.
Absolutely. And by the way, we got a season ticket holder to come on the park as well in the second half. We brought him up for Huddersfield in this season. We thought, listen, we'll treat a fan after winning 55. He came up and he came on and he actually looked positive. I thought he looked like, all right, this lad looks like
it looked like he was playing over on the left right enough. Like, he came on for
having a film pre-season.
Who did he come on for? Was it Wright or Sakala? He came on for one of the two of them. He was more like playing over on the left-hand side of the attack, but he definitely looks like he's got a bit about him. It looks like with games again, hopefully he can keep getting better. But I was impressed with him. He had one shot, just went wide, but I was impressed with Bakuna, and that's a guy I hopefully we'll see in the starting lineup for Livingston.
Hopefully, but as I say, with that first half, as we were talking about there, it was positive. I thought it was really, really positive football. I seen they were doing the thing where sort of like Tav and Aribo were on the right, so I liked that kind of thing, what they were doing there. The passing was good, but second half, man, it just crumbled defensively. Say we weren't good. I think there was a moment in the game where Tav was on the ball and then he went to back pass it to Goldson, and did the ball not just go to play or something? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point. Like, Tavernier, he's some of his crossing and like his ability to go forward yesterday was just Like, you're like, what are you even bothering for, mate? Like, every single one of his corners or his crosses were so overhit that it was just going out for a throw-in, or it was just going back to the other side of the pitch. Like, I don't know what he was thinking about. And I genuinely don't think I can even give pass marks to anybody in that second half. We were so poor.
For me, there's no communication there. It feels like a bunch of individuals playing for themselves, and no, the team that we've seen play as a team for the full last season. I hate to go on about, but honestly, it was. I'm concerned with McGregor. Why is McGregor no showing the passion that he usually shows, telling his defenders to get their act together, shouting, screaming, commanding the defence? Honestly, for me, I'm really concerned with the goalkeeping position. But I don't know, man. That was just awful. That second half was depression, mate. To be honest with you, it feels more like a defeat than it does. And as Gerrard said in the presser, it should have been a 3-4-0, and I don't know how it was not a 3-4-0.
It's just that we need to get I don't know how how many games into a season, maybe 10, 11 now, and we've not looked good at all, like really in any game. I think the only game we looked good in was Dunfermline in that cup game, and that's Dunfermline in the cup. Like, apart from that, we've not really looked good at all, and I don't know what's happened to the squad. Like, it seems like the incident that happened when we came back after winter break after beating Celtic that time, and nobody had any idea what happened. Like, either we've just started slow and we'll eventually kick into gear, or this is going to be a struggle all season. And I hope it's not, because I hope the management, and I've seen Michael Beale's tweet, he was very vocal on his Twitter about the result and getting the way we play back and stuff like that. So I appreciated him coming out and speaking about that. But it has to improve. It has to improve. And my question for you for this episode is, what has happened this season to stop us sort of returning to the heights that we set last season and reaching our best game? Because we haven't seen it yet. What's your thoughts on how do we get that back, and why hasn't it happened?
Potentially ego. I want to say it's ego, maybe behind doors. I know Gerrard said there was bids put in. I don't know. Maybe it's some players thinking they just don't want to be at the club. I don't know what it is, man. It seems like a mixed bag, really. How do we get back to playing the way we were playing? I think you don't drop people who have had good performances. My boy Calvin Bassey needs to be playing. He's performed constantly. Lundstrom needs a chance. I feel Scott Wright definitely will get a chance now Kent's out. So I would say don't give up on players just because they've made one or two maybe errors in a game. That's going to happen. But give them a chance, keep going. Give new faces a chance. Obviously, you're going to have Kamara playing, you're going to have Joe playing. But let's see somebody else I just want to see people getting a chance in the team. But at the same time, I would say I do feel like maybe the ego, I don't know what it is, man. I feel like there's ego there that I think players were expecting maybe this season yet again just to maybe turn up and win it all. But you're not going to just turn up and win it all, man. You've got to perform for the full night. You've got to be committed to the club. And if there's players there that aren't 110% committed to the club, then I say let's get them out. Because if you're only committed, man, I feel like players like maybe Barisic or a Kent, I feel like their eyes might be turned. Who knows? I don't know what it is with Barisic. I felt it was unfair on him in the summer not to get a single real minute unless the Scotland game in the Euros. I thought that was really harsh. What was the point in him going there? But obviously he's posting on Insta with the cars doing the big flex in it. So, I don't like that kind of ego. I like my team to be humbled and, realise how hard the amount of work their fans put in just to get to the game, to get on them, to support them. So I like a bit of humbleness with my team. No flashery. This ain't America. Let's just pipe it down with that. I don't know, mate. I'm concerned with the goalkeeping position, as I keep saying. I don't know what's happening to Al McGregor. Is that his twin playing in the goal or something? Because the Al McGregor I'm used to, he's vocal. He's going off his dome if something like that goes down. He's wanting to fight with somebody. If that goes down, and that's not there. So that tells me this is probably his last season. As I keep saying, I don't know. I'm just a bit concerned. And another thing we didn't touch on there as well for me, man. I say it all the time. Gerrard's substitutions, man. Come on. See when you can see it's no going. Can we make the substitutions then and there? Not just leave it till like the last 15 minutes in the game and then go, well, make them then and there, please. You can see instantly with the first 10 minutes, this ain't working. Let's get the new faces on.
But Gerrard is far too stubborn. He wants to wait to wait to see if it works rather than just make the change. And there's somebody on the bench dying to go on the park to make something happen, and he waits too long to do it all the time. Like, did he make a sub before the Motherwell goal? No, I think he brung Bakuna and that on after the goal. So then that kicked him in. He was like, right, something's not right here. I don't know how he couldn't have noticed something wasn't right before that, because it was poor. And I just don't think Al McGregor looks interested at all this season. Same with Ryan Kent, but I can understand that Ryan Kent has had an injury he's been carrying all season. Obviously, Gary McAllister said so.
But that's the thing I'm saying with Ryan Kent. That's what he does. Maybe I think he deserves respect on his name for that. Man's playing with an injury for the club, and maybe you can't question his commitment. But maybe he just needs this wee bit of time, and hopefully he comes back. We get to see the Ryan Kent be Ryan Kent and just tear it up. But I do feel like there is maybe one or two people in the team defensively. Anyway, I know Connor Golson's got the year, as we said on the contract. He's still not signed it, and if he's looking to leave, let him go. I cannot be doing with people like that, man. I sign the deal, I'll just go, because if you're not 100% committed, for me, I'm not interested.
Nah, it's not going to work. I know it seemed to have been looming over him until the transfer window shut about that. If he was like staying or going, like what was actually happening with him. So now the contract offer is probably going to be on the table. But I don't know what's preventing him from signing that. But for that question there as well, there's so many factors. It could be the ego hanging over for last season, like, oh, we've done this, so like, we can just do whatever we want now. Just show up and win games. Like, nah, this season so far has shown that you need to be the best possible version of yourself to go out and get a result, because I'm already fearing going away to Dundee. I'm fearing going away to playing Hearts and Hibs back to back at home in the next couple of weeks. Like, it's going to be tough, and this is where we really need to see a Rangers squad come together and play as a team, not as individuals, because Morelos is sort of playing into that as well. Like, he played well against Lyon, but he's not getting any service for anybody, and I just don't feel like he's been that good since, like, when was his last goal? Ross County away or something like that. Like, he's just not been great, and that's alarming to me as well. There's just not one standout player I can say for the full team this season. It's actually been that good. Like, we've been lackluster in every department. And the goals we concede as well, just how are we not showing that stuff up? Like, stupidity. Every single time we concede a goal, it's just stupid. Let's see if, like, Lyon, although Toko Akambi put that finish away like expertly, it was a great finish. Up to the goal, it was like, what are we even doing here? Like, it just seems like that all the time. And even with Lyon's second goal, like, stupidity in the box. Motherwell, stupid. St Johnstone the week before that, a ball over the top. Hollander can't stay on his feet, and it's a goal. But it's just like, we never actually concede a goal to real quality. It's always our wrongdoing.
It's just lack of concentration, just zoning out in the game, as you're saying. The Lyon goal, I know for me personally, I'm busting my gut there. I'm fouling him. I'll take the red card as long as he's not putting the ball in the net, for me personally. The thing I dislike about a lot of modern football for me is, see, when they just stand there, the defenders and the attackers get the ball, go in on him, put a tackle on him. What, you just standing there and hoping, praying he doesn't take the ball past him? Either the ball goes past or he does, but not the two of them. So, I mean, I hate that. We always do that, especially Barisic. But I noticed that with him a lot as well. And I remember in the Lyon game as well, Davis constantly telling him, watch the runner. He's going to just run right past you. And he did. And it happens all the time down the left-hand side. That's why I like my boy Bassey playing there. It's like two people playing the one position, man. The guy's fantastic. I'll big him up, Jack. Come on, he's wearing the hats.
But that's the thing now. Like, see, with the situation we're in, I don't think we'll actually see Bassey start for a while, because of the fact that I think Gerrard sees him more at the moment as a centre half, and we need to keep him fit rather than playing him at left back. Like, that's because he's not played. I thought he was definitely going to start against Motherwell, and he didn't. Barisic played again. No, you want Barisic obviously showed his qualities throughout the years. You can know he's a top player. You want him getting fully fit, get him a run of games and that. But I thought, right, Bassey's definitely going to have to come in. Like, especially after Lyon, I think Barisic was like awful, but you could see like he wasn't up to much. Like, I thought, right, Bassey, it's an opportunity for him to come back in again. But I think Gerrard sees him as a centre half, because I don't think he's got the confidence in Simpson like a lot of Rangers fans do. Like, the only thing I ever want for that guy is for him to become a top centre half for us. But for what I've seen so far and start against Motherwell, it's not been good enough. I've yet to see something for him that says to me, right, this guy's going to be a good player, but as we've said the full episode, it's going to take time for these new players. Like, mistakes are going to happen, of course.
But my argument to that would be, I remember a centre half coming up for Brighton, who was maybe the exact same, and then he turned out last season to be our best player. So time's important. You have to give people time to settle. I know he's come in January, but for me, there's too many times. As soon as somebody has a bad game at Rangers, everyone's on their back. Can we give them a minute and let them just, all right, they've had a bad game. Let's let them know they've had a bad game, but still remember they've got another game to play, you know. I understand people maybe getting frustrated and upset with the guy, and for me personally, with the defending for the goal as well, I was definitely frustrated with it. But I just feel like let's give everyone a wee chance here, you know. But I just honestly as well, mate, I do feel like maybe some people should have gone in the summer for me. I'm looking at Barisic. I know he was rumoured to maybe Italy or what have you. You can't keep just dropping somebody, and then this is what I'm on about. The whole rotation thing starting to bite us in the
That's
backside.
maybe why the defence hasn't been as good as it has been, because look, we're making changes to it every week. A back four, the same back four hasn't started in a consecutive game this season so far. That's, to me, where some of the underlying problems are, because you need to keep a settled back four. That's fine rotating Balogun and Hollander like they did last season, but you need to keep a settled sort of structure about it. Like Barisic always played last season, Tav always played like whatever, and then it just felt like we were at that point last season where anybody could come in and play anywhere. Aribo was at left back at some point during the end of the last season. That's how much the players were putting into it. But I just think with the position we're in now, we have a settled back four, and that's only going to benefit the defenders that are actually playing, because, I mean, Goldson's sitting playing with Balogun sometimes. He's playing with Simpson now. He's playing with Hollander. It's going to be tough to adjust to that all the time. But same with the keeper position as well. I hope if you're going to choose McGregor or McLaughlin, it has to be one of them going forth. Just choose a keeper. And then another problem I have is when things aren't going our way, do we have a plan B to sort that? Because it just seems like we do the exact same thing all the time. Against Motherwell, it goes to Tav. Tav tries to play it inside to Aribo. He tries to stick it through to Roof. It goes back out. He hits in a cross. It gets defended out. We recycle. And we try and do the exact same thing again. The only player, and I hate just because he's out injured or he's away, would have changed the game. But we desperately miss Hadji for these type of situations, and I genuinely feel that he's one of our most important players, if not the most important player, because you look at some of the football we play with him included, he's that different option. He can cut in for the wing, he can play in a middle position, he can get balls through, he's bulked up a lot to where he's not just getting chucked about like he did when he first came here. He obviously draws a lot of fouls, but Hadji for me has been a massive miss, especially against Lyon. I feel like he could have threaded through passes and gave at least some of the front men a bit of service, especially with Livingston Motherwell as well. If he didn't start the game off the bench, he's always a great option to have. And the fact that we've not had him for the best part of 2 weeks, international break was ages ago, and we've not had Hadji, and he's still not back yet. Again, obviously the questions to the Scottish government and all that'll take its place whenever. But how is he no back here? But in the Lyon game, the Brazilians that went to red zone countries are allowed to come travel here, and Hadji's not even allowed back in his own fucking country where he lives. Shambles. But what's your thoughts on Hadji? Anyway, do you think we've missed him?
I've been saying it. I know I've been saying it since even the last season, where people were saying, "Oh, he doesn't really hang me." Man was scoring goals and assisting. He was putting performances in. He was doing his job, and he is massive. I feel like, as we said, Davis and Lundstrom are kind of the same player. We know the qualities of Kamara and Joe Aribo, but I just feel like Giannis is that one magical player that, as you're saying, Thursday nights he turns up, Ibrox baby. He knows the drill. He knows what he's doing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're saying as well with the defence, if you have the same back five there, you know what I mean, that's going to win you the title. That's what I keep saying all the time. I think about what Sir Alex Ferguson said. You can have a great player, great attacker that can win you games, but the defence and the keeper will win you the title, man. So for me, with that regard, he needs to stop playing about. But the real question for me, maybe it's not really the players, maybe it's the management, maybe the players have had enough of it. I've had enough of the whole rotation and constantly being dropped. I feel sorry for somebody like Cedric, Arnold de Motherwell. He's been sent out to go and play in the relegation team in the Bundesliga. How's he going to improve and score goals in that? He's barely going to get any service, is he, after the relegation fodder in the German league? No disrespect, Bill. I mean, your relegation fodder.
But then the thing is with Cedric and all, he's going to be a good league, of course. But as you said, he's playing with a relegation side, and he's coming back to play with the best team in Scotland. So how does that correlate?
How's he going to improve? How's he going to improve? He should have been sent somewhere else where he's going to, similar to us, where they're a top side. They're going to be able to give him game time. My thing is, I'm fed up with the whole rotation stuff. Not stop trying to just fit somebody in, because I'll just make a change there and that'll keep the fans happy. Please, as I keep saying, play the people who are good, are playing well and deserve to wear the shirt. Now, you go to somebody like Giannis, as we keep saying, massive miss Thursday and at the weekend there. He's, as we say, he's that one outlet, man. I think he's the one player with cojones that'll just go, you know what, give me the ball, I'll do something. Same with Ryan Kent as well. He's similar, but
Kent just gets stuck in his own head. I think he's like, right, I need to go and do this.
Aye, and that's the difference with him and Giannis, man. He's a lot of passion. I just love the guy because he shows passion for the actual shirt, man. And I was just like, for me personally, I want to see Gerrard one time at the sideline, scream at them, please let me show the emotion that the fans are showing. Pick your shoe up and launch it at one of them and tell them to get the finger out and let's go. I'm yet to see that for Gerrard. That's the thing that annoyed me, as I said to you, with the whole 55 documentary. Yeah, you were wonderful, this and that. I want to see him in the changing room screaming at them. I want to hear if does he shout at them or does he talk to them like his mate? I want, because you've got to be able to turn that on and off. I don't want him to be constantly howling at them, but at the same time, when they deserve to be told, yo, what was that? Like, I want you to tell them, what was that? I'm yet to see that passion. I look at people, as I say to you, like Simeone, where they'll just go nuts at the sideline. I need that kind of passion, man. Show that you care as much as I care, man. Please. That's all I ask.
I get that, because yesterday after the goal, I think he just went straight to his bench, and obviously he was talking to Michael Beale and that about getting it right, but he should be screaming at the players, or I don't know. It's a weird position at the club. It's a weird position the club are in now. It just seems like we're in this never-ending cycle at the moment this season to get kick-started. We're just constantly stuck in second gear and we just can't get out. We can't just blow a team away. We can't really hold on to it, and we're not defensively resilient anymore. I hope it changes, and I hope it changes for Livingston, the next game we've got coming up, which has turned into absolutely a massive game. Obviously, it was going to be a big game anyway, getting through in the cup, but they've just beat Celtic. They've won their first game of the season. They're going to be right up for this one. Martindale always fucking sets his teams up to be stubborn, to be hard to play against, so it's going to be tough. Obviously, we've already played them this season, 3-0 at home, first game of the season. What a long time ago that seemed. But we'll be lucky if we even come out this with 1 or 2 at this point. The team going into this one that I've selected that I would like to see, obviously, probably never going to happen, but I would like to see, although we've talked about rotation, I'd like to see a few players get a chance in this game. We all know how big it is, but it's big. Obviously, we've played 3 games in 6 days. Players are going to drop in and out. And I would like to see players who not necessarily get a chance all the time. They need to stake their claim here. So I'm going to go Ben McGregor, even though the McLaughlin situation, he'll probably will play him. But I would like to see McGregor just stay in goals now, because we need him to be settled. Patterson, for me, has taken back in. If he's fit, he plays, surely. Deserves a chance. I feel so sorry for him sitting on the sideline. He is probably one of the best talents at the club. And just because the captain's in that position, he's never going to get a game. I feel really sorry for him. So hopefully he gets his chance. Goldson, I think, starts as well. I'd like to see Balogun back in there. Bassey, I think, will maybe start as well at left back. I'd like to see the 2 young fullbacks being given another opportunity together. I think Davis drops out, and I'd like to see the midfield be Lundstrom, Kamara, and Juninho Bacuna. I feel like that's an exciting midfield. They can all do similar things. Bacuna's definitely Kamara, and Lundstrom, where he can go forward more. Kamara's that tempo setter. He distributes and recycles the ball well. Lundstrom's that sort of bit of hard nails in the middle of the park. And then my front 3, I would like to see Morelos up with Wright and Sakala, because that's a very strong team. Maybe even young Kelly gets a bit of game time. in this one. Who knows? But that's what I would like to see that, because I know Gerrard is not going to take that, drop him 2 points lightly, and he's going to go with a strong team, I think.
100% back the team you've went for there. Just it's the way we're talking on this episode, man. You think we were in a rebuilding job, and the way we've seen it so far this season. For me, we should be flying away with this league, man.
No,
And I know Gerrard knows that as well. That's why he constantly kept getting the point across. We should be more goals in the game, and definitely with Patterson, as you're saying there as well. Guy's got to play. I've had enough of the whole stop-start with Tavernier. Just run with the ball, please. Just don't do the whole stop-start. Let's go. Let's just go. And that's another guy as well, Leon Balogun. I feel so sorry for him. Puts in a hell of a shift against Celtic, and then seems to just get dropped after it. Like,
I know.
even McCrory and all, he does well, and then he's nowhere to be seen. We'll see. In the gaff playing the PlayStation.
McCrory's been our best goalie this season, and he's played 2 games. 2 of the biggest games of the season so far, by the way, as well, into the bargain. I feel that's criminal leaving him out, and I know he's a young keeper, and they have got a plan for him going forward.
See that excuse, though? See that excuse, he's young, he's got plenty of hang me. I don't care. See if he's playing well now. I want him in the team.
Mm-hmm.
As you're saying, obviously we want the best players to play, as we're getting a point here, but I just feel like that's harsh, man. That's still harsh on the young guy. Thanks for doing the 2 jobs. You can sit the rest of the season out the sidelines now and be a season ticket holder. That's still harsh. Front three, you said there, sounds exciting to me. That sounds like an exciting front three. Kemar, I know he can do the business. As I say, I know he can do the business.
Aye.
But it does sometimes it will fuddle out. But
he was poor against Motherwell. Just nothing really fell for him. He didn't really get in the game at all. But
there was times, mate, where he was in space and he was shouting for the ball. There's too many times where I'm seeing Kemar with his hands up, like, give me the ball, please, let me do something. I know he was out on the recovery run with his dogs there.
Aye.
I do like his dogs. His dogs are entertainment, to be honest with you.
I know. I love his Instagram.
Yeah.
But I've went with that sort of side to. It's still strong enough. It's still giving players a chance, like your Pattersons, Bassies, Lundstrom, Bakuna. Hopefully gets a full debut, because I don't think there's anything that he can not want him a debut. He looked good when he came on, so I would like to see him for the start. Sakala, I think he's maybe the only one for the other day that gets pass marks. He was lively, he was energetic. I want to see him take that goal and the confidence into this game now. And hopefully we get through into the next round of the Cup, because we know how badly Cups were last year when we should have won all 3. And we didn't. We failed in that respect. So again, it's another big task for this team. It's another test of mentality bottle to see if they can overcome that for last season. So it's going to be big on Wednesday night. Again, I don't know if I'm necessarily looking forward to it, but I'm hoping we get a big win, a good performance to get the fans back on side again, because it's been dismal this season. It's so bad to watch. It's unbelievable. So hopefully it starts coming together soon. And then Dundee on Saturday. Obviously that's a bit further away than the Livingston game. The Livingston game is priority at the moment, but the Dundee game, again, they lost just narrowly to Dundee in the derby at the weekend. A fiery game. I watched a bit of it. So again, they'll be up for it. Obviously they've got Lee Griffiths up front. You know what he can do. By all he's like whatever's come out of him, he starts up front for Dundee. You know he's going to be a threat. Obviously Jason Cummings we know well. Charlie Adam, I think he's still at Dundee.
Yes.
At least I think so. Anyway, so again that's going to be on the road. We're going to need to go and try and take points for. We've beat Ross County, St Johnstone away from home, two big victories, but we've not been able to go to Dundee and win a game this this season. So I'd say we should be going here again. If we're playing the way we should be beating Dundee. What's your thoughts on Dundee?
Yeah, again, it's going to be a difficult game, so I'm just hoping for the 3 points, mate. Anytime, just get the 3 points, mate. That's the main thing. Dundee, I've not really seen much of them. I know they've got some Charlie Adams and all that kind of part. I've seen that when they're coming up in the Championship. So it should be an interesting game. Obviously, they'll have that man's name you just mentioned there. I want to say his name, but they've got him. So maybe get a wee nice tackle on him. That would be nice for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that'd be nice.
Nah, definitely. But that's further in the distance. It depends how we play in Livingston to where my thoughts will be on who starts. But I reckon he's going to go. He's going to go full strength again. Because I can't see Juninho Bacuna, if he starts against Livingston, having a standout game and he just starts him again. That would be out of the ordinary for Steven Gerrard to do that. So I think he'll bring in your Davises, your Barisic's, Roof, Aribo and stuff like that again.
I was about to say the exact same thing when you picked that team for Livingston. Don't be surprised if Barisic and Dave will start. He said, as he said in that documentary as well, he's probably going to maybe pick a more full strength team in the cup competitions now, knowing that he has to get all three done, man. He has to. There's no excuse for me this season. There's no.
No.
We need to get our act together. I'm seeing already 3 games lost for Celtic, so come on, get your act together.
And look, Celtic have had such a poor start to their league campaign away from home. At home, they've been unbelievable. There's 6-0 they beat Dundee, who's an upcoming opponent. So it's away from home, they just can't seem to get results, and we should be capitalising on that. Look at if we won yesterday and we were coming on here and we were happy, we were 6 points clear at the table. We would have took that at the start of the season, no doubt about it. And then even at the Dundee United game, you're thinking all of these losses, even though it was maybe a month ago, it's going to come back and bite us because again we could have been 9 points clear. It's just what if situation, but we're in the position we're in. We're 4 points clear. We're 4 points clear at the top of the table, of course. Again, you can take any positive you can for that, but I'm looking towards that's a negative. Yesterday we should have really been taking maximum points from Motherwell, and we could have been in an even better position. Because over the road it's no so rosy now. So I'm looking forward to the game at Livingston. Hopefully to see a bit of rotation, a bit of players that I've not seen left in the dark parts, and that's what I'm looking forward to anyway. And then hopefully, because it's big to get 2 victories again. You can't have another week like that. Yeah, last week.
No, we can't. Because if we have another week like that, I'm making them come out after the game. You're running around the park. You go clean up the stands. See the stands up there? There's paper up there. I want you to pick it up, put it in the bin. Be humble for a minute. Go. You ain't going back to your house yet. Get clean the stands. See the pigeons that have been loyal, that weren't at the flag day. They've just, one of them said an accident. Go clean it up. I'm looking at you, Barisic, got up the stairs and go and clean it.
It has, honestly, it's getting to that point where you're right, what do we do to get these players playing well, man? We could sit here all day and talk about it, but that's really all I had down the day. We need to go to Livingston Wednesday at home, Ibrox, and we need to put in a good performance. We need to get through in the cup, and we need to make that our priority for the now and then. We need to go and take another 3 points in the league because we cannot let any more points slip away. So, is there anything else you'd like to add on before we head off?
Of course I do, Jack. I always like to add something on. No, I just no matter how bad it is, I guess, man. Let's keep going, man. We just need to get the results at the end of the day. That's the main thing. I think we need. I can't believe I'm having to keep saying this again, man. After the international break, I thought it would improve, but let's just go again, man. Dust ourselves down. Let's go, man. Especially this cup game, we have to get through here for me personally, and obviously the games are massive. So we'll see how it all goes. Hopefully, Jack, when we come back on, it's positive. Fingers are crossed. It is a positive week for us as Rangers fans. So
I hope so. That's the main thing. The message is just let's fucking go again. But I'm going to beat Ibrox, of course. I've got a lot of problems with how we're playing now. It's dismal to watch, but hopefully in the not too distant future we're back to our best. Hopefully that starts Wednesday. So again, if you did enjoy the podcast and you got this far, if you could like, subscribe, and share it about if you're listening anywhere else, that'd be very much appreciated. And we'll be back at some point with some more content reviewing again the past week, seeing if we get the results we needed and then any other problems that have come up during then. So we'll see you then. Cheers.